Oh la la. Hello
Yes.
everyone. This is Mai Vu with Bold Brave Women Conversations. I am so excited to be back here with you all today and with my special guest Belkys Garcia. For those of you who don't know, Belkys was my actually very first guest when I launched Bold Brave Women Conversations a couple months ago. And we talked about how courageous it was for her to finally say goodbye to this relationship that was not working in her life. And the two of them were separated from each other, and so on and so forth. And then a couple months later, here we are, part two of a very real, let's just say that, a very real saga that is happening right now in Belkys' life. I'm always I'm always so grateful to have my guests come on and have these amazing conversation with me. And most of the time people feel comfortable talking about things that happened in the past. But for them to talk about what is really happening right now in real time, that's a lot more challenging. That's like extra bold and brave. So you get two gold star today, not just one. And um, and why this conversation is so important is because, we all have been there and done that. Relationship happened and then it goes awry and then we break off. The breaking apart is messy and confusing and all that stuff for a lot of us. And it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally, we give up on what we can let go. We are bold and brave and strong enough to finally walk once and for all. But it's in the back and forth. That's where it's really hard to talk about. It's embarrassing, it's shameful, it has so much judgment in there. We should ourselves, all this stuff. And so for Belkys to offer to go on and talk about what she's going through right now in the midst of it is so bold and so brave and so um, useful because so many women listen to these podcasts and they judge themselves for not being strong enough, not being able to do whatever they think, these fancy co-hosts and guests and all this radio show, podcast shows and TVs and all that stuff makes it look like it should look that way, but it's not. It's very real and it's very painful. So, without further ado, come on in, Belkys, and say
Hi,
hi and
Hi,
let
everyone.
us started.
Yeah. Yes, I'm ready to talk about this. It's been hard getting back with him and sharing the same place. I was so peaceful. Things were easy for me, and here comes back responsibilities, and the shame of coming back after he had been with another woman, forgiving him, and it's been hard. And now to have to face the friends that turn their back on me, it's very difficult to see them turn their face not to say hello when I wave, because instead of understanding both of us, they have taken his side and believe him that he did not hit me, and they don't like me anymore. They don't want to be my friends. I guess they never
So
were.
let's pause that down and let
Yes,
the audience catch up. So, whew, this has been how many years of marriage have you guys been together?
we've been together more than 6 years.
More than
Married,
6 years, right?
yes, married 3 years.
Yes. And I have to say that how Belkys and I come into each other's life is I was in Florida doing my women's conference and opening up the Florida market and Belkys was my Uber driver. And I got in the car and we started talking and we clicked right away. It was so lovely. And then Belkys at that time was so happy. She was talking about how she was going to go get married. Her wedding is coming up, and he met this really great guy and all this stuff. I have to tell you, honey, because I'm a relationship coach, I don't get excited about people going to get married anymore. I'm all like, uh huh, uh huh. Like, what's the behind the scene? So so anyway, but I was so hoping that this was going to be the thing for you, and that you did marry Prince Charming, and that all is was going to be well and all that stuff. Unfortunately, as it turns out, things hasn't been well, and it was rough just even during the wedding. So there's stuff that was leading up to this, and then the latest incident was you guys got into some major fight, and he was sitting on top of you, beating on you, something. I
Was
don't
trying.
quite know what happened.
He was trying to strangle me, and that is major.
Yeah.
That's felony. He didn't want me to talk. He was holding my neck and holding me down. So it was pretty scary, and I'm not scared of him. I don't think that he's gonna hit me again, and if he does, there is the law, and this time he will go to jail. He didn't go to
But
jail this
honey, I know since you're
time.
in the situation, so you know more than me. But as your witness and your friend on this outside, I worry about you. It's
I
such
know.
a volatile situation. So just for the record, like we're paying attention. I'm paying attention, and um, and sending you lots of blessings and protection as you
Hmm.
figure this out with him. So
Yes,
what happened was then you guys split up after he sat on you and tried to strangle you. You call
I
cops,
called
or did you
the
call the
police.
cop on him?
Yes, I called the
Good.
police,
Okay.
but he
And
had
so
left. He left before they came,
good.
and so he left and he hid, and finally he got the order, the injunction. They call it here, order of protection in different places. Call it different names, and then he had to stay away for 6 months. I asked for a year, and the judge gave 6 months. And
So
during
you
the
got
last
six
month,
months.
yes, during the last month, I had gotten the COVID. I've been sick, and I was just tired, tired of fighting because he kept saying that is my home, and I want to come home, and I don't have any place to live. He was living with another woman that he says he didn't have anything to do with, but I think otherwise. And it's okay. He's back, and we're trying, and it's
So
hard.
how
I'm a, feel like I'm a
how do you stay
victim. I'm
civil with each other? Let's start with that. How do you maintain civility with each other?
We keep busy. I keep busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time to be around him, and he doesn't have time to be around me. He's gone all day long. He's always working. And today he called me. He told me, "Hey, I helped you. I did the dishes." I'm like, "Oh, how nice!" And
How
little
nice.
things like that. I have to still pick up shoes and clean up and do everything for someone else when we're sort of like roommates right now.
Okay, well that's good.
Feel like the
Roommate
roommates.
is good. Roommate is if you really can maintain roommate status, that's good. Good roommate is always very good.
Yes, he's in one
So,
room and in
do
another
you?
room. He sleeps in the sofa, or I sleep in
So
the
he's in
sofa,
one room and you're in a
or
different room, yeah.
or I'll go to the bedroom one night, and we just work it out. There's no problem that way.
And
You know,
do you sleep in the same bed still?
sometimes, but he loves
Really?
he loves
That's amazing.
yeah, he loves his pillows. So it's like I'm not there for him. He is a pillow person. He has a pillow in between his legs for his knees. He has a pillow under his arm
Yeah,
that keeps us separate, and big a whole bunch of pillows behind his back.
yeah.
And I sleep with one tiny little pillow to the side, and I sleep on the edge of the bed. I'm a side sleeper. And then I turn
Uh-huh.
around. When I turn around, he turns the other way.
Okay. So
Like,
protected by pillows.
yes, he's got pillow protection. That's for sure. I tell him, here's your lady. Here's your girl. I give him the pillow so he can hold her. He holds her, and that's just the way he is.
Yeah. Well, I'm so amazed like that you could even share the same bed because it's such a place of sanctity, and you know it's safety, right? That's your bed is so. anyway, to have someone or entity that you don't really want in your bed is
Yeah,
seems
that you don't really
challenging.
trust.
So,
You don't really
so
trust
you're sharing the same
fully.
house, you share the same
Yeah.
bed. Do you still have sex with each other?
Out of necessity, sometimes. Are you still there?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said out of
Yeah,
necessity,
I am.
sometimes, yes. Sometimes there is a
To have
physical
sex with
need,
each other.
and I don't know if he has another partner. I feel that he always has someone else. I don't, and I don't want to,
Yeah.
because I came back to try one last time. I'm looking for a marriage counselor right now. I'm getting a referral, someone that can help us talk things out and try to figure a little bit more. But I've been working on myself, you know, in my
Yeah.
healing and being strong, and not being taken back to where I was being abused emotionally and verbally. I don't take it anymore, and I found myself. I have my independence. I got my own car under my own name. I have my own belongings. My everything that's in the bedroom is mine. I can just grab it and go. I have savings to go move from here if I need to. I have a plan, and I feel that I
Hmm.
can do it now. I'm not under his beck and call and to take everything that he does. If he ever touches me again, he will never see me. I will move to another state until later on. I can come back or whatever. But I'm not afraid of him. That's where I've gotten so strong inside that he can come and he can yell and scream and I'll scream back. Before I used to go to a corner and cry. And if he said
Mm.
something harsh to
So
me, I was crying.
that's one difference is that you're not afraid of him anymore, and you're standing in your own strength rather than. And how do you know? Huh? How do you know standing in your own strength and escalating? You know how sometimes we can escalate the situation and then put yourself in danger. Like, how do you avoid that?
It's hard because I'm human.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't. Last week we went out and he started screaming at me and I screamed back. Because before I would cry and go to the side, and now I have the strength and I'm not afraid and I scream back. Now I've thought about it and I'm going to choose not to do that next time. But
Okay.
I
So
couldn't
it
have
sounds to me like there are days where you guys would still go out and do things together, and there are
yes,
days where you would actually still have sex with each other,
yes,
and then there are days that you scream at each other.
yes. All of that is going on.
Ah, that's
Hmm.
crazy. Wow.
Crazy, crazy. We went out on a date. I said, let's start doing Taco Tuesday because it's very inexpensive and we can go out and have a good time and split the bill. You put
Yeah.
20 on and I'll put 20. Well, I decided the place where we went, we were sitting at the bar talking to other people. He was talking
Yeah.
to one man on one side, I was talking to ladies on the other side, but we were going to share the bill. At the end of the evening, he asked me for my money, and I said, since we're talking with people, we're supposed to be out on a date. Can I give you my 20 when we get to the car? And he said, I don't have it. And when I continue to ask, please just wait till I get to the car, he couldn't understand that I just wanted to feel like a princess. I wanted him to pay the bill and not make me look like I'm paying for my own food. And he continued to ask for, so I opened my wallet, and when he saw that I had a lot of money, I had the bills for the money for the bills, and he saw that I had money. He said, "And you mean you can't give me this $20 and you have all these bills in here?" And I said, I just wanted you to wait till we got to the car. And we paid and we left to the car. And when we got to the car, he screamed at me. Said, why did you do that? If you had the money, why did you put me through this? Asking you in there over and over. And I said, because I just wanted you to wait till the car. I just wanted to feel that way. I wanted to feel good that you're paying for my meal. You took me out and you're paying for it. Well, he he did it in front of the parking lot of the place, and as we drove away and there was nobody looking, I started screaming at him. And don't you dare scream at me again. You have no right to scream at me and try to come into my space and talk to me like I'm nothing. This is not happening anymore. If you do this, you need to leave now. I'm not going to take this anymore.
And what
And I
did he
became,
say?
uh, he started fighting back and screaming, and I said, "Let me out of this car." And then he was quiet and drove home.
Mm,
And then I didn't speak to him for 3 days. He tried to talk to me, ask me questions,
mm.
and I would just turn my back and do the same thing that he does. Sometimes he doesn't speak to me. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me for days. So I can do the same. So it's like a game thing, and we need therapy because it's hard to get back together. And you feel shame, you feel threatened, and it's scary. And you have to be strong and keep going and get up every morning. And I do a million things just not to think about it. And people are making their conclusions and talking about me coming back and why did I do it, and it's a lot of pressure. Um, my my granddaughter doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't want to see him because he touched his grandmother, and he wants her to say hello and talk to him, and she doesn't want to. The same with my kids, you know. And now I'm going on a trip with. I've been on trips with him to relatives that like me and love me. But now I'm going to Virginia, where he comes from. They have a family reunion, and I keep thinking, should I go? Maybe I should stay home because all these people that took his side and didn't call me, they didn't talk to me. His sister, his mother is kind of a little bit more understanding now because he went to see her, talk to her about our relationship. But what am I going to do at a barbecue and dinner parties with these people that did not see it as it was? He did abuse me, and they want to erase it.
Oh,
Like, no,
baby.
you got back with him. That means it's okay. Because if he hits you
Yeah.
so hard, and there are people that believe that a woman should take it, that she should
She
allow the
asked for
man
it.
to hit. Yeah, and I
Yep.
asked for it as far as he's concerned because I was on the phone with someone else texting that
Okay.
lives my, you know, and that's how it happened. Uh,
Yeah. So
so it
hang
was
on
my
a second. So
fault.
this, oh, honey, this
I
is
know it wasn't.
so, this is so tough because as I'm listening to your story, I can see you're crazy and I can see his crazy.
Yes,
Um, Especially, the part about at the restaurant you guys went out and you wanted the illusion that he was paying for you. You wanted to look good. You wanted to present this image that is not true. I mean, I think that's where the first crazy start.
yes,
Because I think I think the place is like how do you learn to work with each other given your real situation rather than creating illusion as you try to uphold this illusion that you have a romantic relationship and all is well and that he's paying for you and all this stuff. But he didn't know that was the game. He thought the game was 50-50. I put in 20, you put in 20, we pay the bill and get the heck out of here. We had our meal, right? And
mhm.
so you kind of changed the game on him in that
But it was
scenario.
just till we got to the car.
Well, but you didn't explain to
Pretty.
him why.
I
Come on
tried.
now. Work
I tried
with
to
me.
explain.
Well, it didn't sound like it. It sounded like you wanted this illusion and he didn't know that's what you were wanting. And so he's a man, straight up, like you said, A, I'm here for A. But
Mhm.
wait, you want a D over there. I don't understand D. So so that's kind of crazy. And then for you to go to his family union, that's triple crazy. You don't have a good relationship to go to family reunion yet. That's like taking all your dirty underwear and gonna hang it out and let everybody dissect it. That's gonna put you in a lot of judgment area and put you in a place where you're not cared for.
I care for myself.
I know.
Mhm.
And
I can take
and
care of myself.
yeah.
I don't need their love to live my life.
Okay, so why go? What's the reason for going?
Just to get out of Florida, have a good time.
Will you have a good time?
Yes, I don't need them to have a good time.
Okay.
And
So
I feel,
you
and I feel that I can stand up to them and whatever they have to say or do.
yeah. Of course you can. It's just a lot harder. That's not the kind of vacation that you're looking for.
Yes. But I'm sure that in 20, 30 people, there's got to be a few that do understand a woman that has been abused
Yeah.
and do believe me. I don't know which ones because I'm not there. I don't
Yeah.
keep in touch with them on a day-to-day basis. We usually just see them once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And he keeps reassuring me everything's going to be okay. And he's the one taking care of the bill and everything else. And he has taken me out and paid for the whole bill. It's just
Right.
for that situation, we had made an agreement, like you said,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was going to follow through with the $20 in the car. He
Well,
just
I know, but he didn't understand why you were making him wait. That's why.
right,
It didn't make sense to him.
yes.
And the answer wasn't coming. So it drove him
Well, I can
back.
understand you thinking
So
that's crazy.
ah so yes, so the crazy continue and you're feeling confident that you can keep going and that
Yes,
what what do you hope for? What do you hope would be the outcome of this next phase for you and him?
that if things don't work out, we can go our separate ways on a friendly basis.
If things don't work out, we can go our separate way on a friendly basis.
Yes,
And how do you ensure that that will happen?
by getting help, getting
Okay?
help so that we can talk to one another with someone else that will not take sides, listening to both of us and being able to put our thoughts together about what we want. See if we can work it out. He wants to continue living where we're living and not selling. And he came under the I welcomed him under the assumption that we were going to fix this extra room that we have so that we can get more money and sell, and then he would get his half and I would get my half, and we would go our separate ways. But that hasn't worked out like that because he needed dental work, and dental work became more important to him than the repair, the remodeling of the bedroom. And so we need to do that in order to sell and get something out of it. Otherwise, we're going to get minimum. It's going to be very hard for us to start by ourselves somewhere else with that small amount of money. We need more.
Right.
So I
Hmm.
have to wait it out. And he had all these planned, all these trips and all this. I mean, we did when we were together.
Yeah. And what, so I know for myself when I want to change a relationship, I have to look at myself and see what am I willing to change
Yes.
and focus on myself in order to make that difference. So what are you what are you when you look at this, how do you see yourself contributing to the situation and how do you and what is it that you want to that you're willing to change within yourself?
Well, I have been doing it. I become more independent. I don't have expectations of him like I did before. I do things on my own. I go where I want to go, and I eat
Uh-huh.
and do everything by myself. I have my friends, my relatives, and my acquaintances, and people that I just do my own thing, and he does his. He likes to play golf. He goes to play golf. I go do my Pilates, or I go walk or swim, do other things. There's so much to do in Florida. And then I have family. I have my daughters and my friends and my support.
grandbabies and things.
And I
Yeah.
have a great
So
support.
So what I'm hearing is that you're practicing being independent while being in this relationship with him, and
Yes.
you're not counting on him to carry you or to be there for you. Like none of the romantic notion. You're like, I'm just going to be an independent woman in this relationship.
Yeah. Even sexually, I take care of myself.
Yeah.
And I don't look for someone
And
else for the relationship. I don't want to do that to myself. It's not only him. I just don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to have uh, two men or go through all of that. I can be by myself. I go to church. I'm busy, and
staying busy, keeping
yes,
out of each other's hair, try not
right.
to drive each other
I feel that
crazy.
that's what he wanted all along. He doesn't want an open marriage, but it seems like he wants a woman that goes and does everything by herself. I can go on a, and he travels, but he wants to travel by himself. And for me to be able to do that, we used to travel always together. I wouldn't mind going with my friends, group of girls, and doing things by myself now. That wasn't the marriage that I wanted, but this is what's being offered to me.
So learning to accept the marriage that you have,
Yes,
not the marriage that you thought you wanted,
exactly.
right? And staying safe and don't escalate the fight.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, I have to just keep circling that because it's not just for us, right? I mean, other women are listening to this, and yes, on one hand, it's so important for them to for for all of us to have our voice, to stand up for our right, to speak up, to be independent, and to not be afraid of our men. That's so important. And at the same time, when the situation is already escalating into, you know, you he's gone as far as sitting on you and trying to strangle you, that's pretty drastic. That is
Yeah.
as drastic and a sure sign of trouble um, as any sign. So
Yes.
so it's like how do you speak up? How do you stop him from physically and emotionally and verbally abusing you? And at the same time, how do you do that without escalating and putting yourself in danger and stoking the fire? You know how sometimes we can escalate and poke at them and piss them off so much that they actually, I'm not saying that it's our fault. They still are responsible for their anger and their emotion. However, there are situations where I've seen women stoking the fire and making it volatile instead of um, finding peace and harmony with each other. So, how do you do that?
I write.
Mm.
A lot of the times I don't publish what I write, but I write when I'm angry, when I want to say things to him. I say it all in my notebooks and I just let it all out the way it comes out instead of talking to him or telling him anything. I do that a lot.
Yes,
Uh,
that's good.
and if I want something for him, I put it in writing too. Instead of being at home when I tell him what I'm going to tell him, I'll leave him a note and then he'll call me and we'll be both out of each other's face and not argue with one another. That helps a lot. And
Yes.
I and when I'm angry, I find things that help me, like swimming, listening to music, and dancing, so that I don't. And then he says, "Why are you listening to music so loud?" And I'm just having a good time dancing, and not get into it until I cool off. And then I would tell him later in a nicer way what I feel, instead of just being angry and start like right now. He said he was going to be home, and that's how he is. He says one thing and he does another. Well, I'm going to go about whatever I need to do and mind my own business, and what he does is his business. I'm not going to tell him, oh, where were you? I used to do that before. You lie, you didn't show up, or you're late for dinner. And now dinner is cooked, and if he doesn't eat it, I just save it, put it in the microwave. And
Wow, you still cooking dinner. That's
oh, yes,
amazing.
yes, I cook all the meals that I can if I'm home and available.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'll cook when I'm home and leave it there, and he can eat. And a lot of the times I just go out and do my own thing, and he does too. It's not like before. Before it was all three
Yeah.
meals every day. No, not anymore.
And building your world around him. This time
Yes,
it's just like
that's what I was
it's
doing.
there,
Everything was
your
about
independence.
beautiful, clean home for him, cooking all his meals, great recipes, and doing all the dishes by myself. Now I let the dishes today sit in the sink, and he let me know that he did the dishes.
Yay.
So it's been a little bit
Ah,
changed, and he takes me out a lot to eat, and comes up with different things. We went to a concert this week in the past to see one of the children that I took care of when they were young, and now he's playing the saxophone in the jazz in the park, and we went, and he got me a T-shirt, and I got him a T-shirt. So it was nice that night.
wow. This is such an interesting
I wonder
love
where's
story.
Jacob.
Well, I hope that it takes you to love. And I hope that you find yourself, you find your maturity, you find your love for yourself and for him, and real love, not codependent love, not, crazy love, but love and respect. That's what I hope, is that you both find things about each other that you can love and respect. And from there, you could start to mend and co create with each other.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for making this happen, for talking about this most vulnerable place in relationship where we don't know how this story is going to end up.
Right. Thank
We,
you.
you do have, right? You do have somewhat control of how this will turn out, depending on how you work with yourself and how you work with each other, and how much you how to find your voice and how to speak up for yourself and for each other actually. So many lessons in here. It's not easy,
But I believe
but it's
that
lovely.
it can come to something beautiful and nice. We might just
I
walk away
think so
from one
too.
another peacefully, or we might stay
Yeah.
together. Who knows?
Yes, we hope so.
And let's see what
And
happens in another month or two, and so on and so on. I
yes,
bought
come back
I,
in a
I
month
actually
and let's
we
let's
actually
report out.
have a cruise coming in February. Uh, and I'm like, I was so afraid to buy the cruise tickets because will we be together in February? I don't know. But I had to because it's for our
Well,
granddaughter.
you have family reunion coming up, so that in
That's
itself
next.
is going to be quite
I
an
wonder how that's
adventure.
gonna be.
Let's call it that.
I can't wait to see how the woman.
Yes,
I've
that's right.
I've actually lost a friend, someone that I was very close to, because she couldn't believe it, and she chose his side. And the way that she reacted when I told her what happened, it was so painful. I couldn't talk to her anymore. So we don't talk
Yeah.
anymore
You
because
know,
taking
I
sides is
I'm
hard.
glad you bring that. Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up again because it is so true. I don't know why people feel like they have to take side when they know both person. Love is love, and when a couple is going through some hard time, they both need love and acceptance and support. So, for those of us who are listening to this episode, if you tend to pick side, could you please stop doing that? Just love both sides and have compassion for what both people are going through because nobody really wants to be in this kind of situation. Of course, everybody wants kind and loving and respectful love. And sometimes we get stuck in some relationship trauma that that you're working out. So I send you both lots of love and well regards, and just you have my full respect and honor of your spiritual journey with each other. I know that it's not easy, and I honor both of you for your parts in it.
Thank you. I will let him know.
Yes. All right, everyone. This concludes another episode of Bold Brave Woman Conversations. Thank you for listening. If you love what I do and would like to support me, you can buy me a coffee. I love this new website where you can come on and drop a cup of coffee or two or three or five, like a lot of my fans have been doing, which is so generous. So it's buy me a coffee / Mai Vu Coach. So it's my name, Mai Vu Coach, my business name. And that will allow me to, caffeine up and find and bring you these exquisite conversations with women around the world being bold and brave to grow ourselves, grow our love, grow our life, and finding our ways forward. Bold and brave doesn't have to mean that you are getting into a rocket and going to another planet. Yes, that's bold and brave, but like this, just simply learning to live with each other and not kill each other, and finding the respect and hopefully the love in something that has been challenging is super bold and super brave. So thank you. I honor you, Miss Belkys Garcia.
Yeah.
And if you have a bold and brave story that you're walking through right now, I would love to have you as my guest on the show. Sending everybody lots and lots of love. Have kindness toward yourself and always appreciate how bold and brave you are in facing whatever it is that you're facing. This is Mai Vu Coach signing out for now. I look forward to the next conversation with my next guest. Bye.
Bye.